The Montgomery estate smells like pine and cinnamon, but it may as well be a mortuary. I stand rooted in the center of the living room, fingers locked around a cream-colored gift box tied with a silk ribbon, unable to tear my eyes from what's inside. A lifetime VIP subscription to Last Chance, Love and app blatantly targeted at hopeless singles over 30, and beneath it, a hardcover with raised gold lettering, How to Find Happiness When You Die Alone. Neat. The fire crackles behind me in the marble fireplace. Through the French windows, snow drifts down in heavy, muffled waves across the manicured landscape. But the chill in this room has nothing to do with winter. Bella giggles. The sound is sharp, brittle like a champagne flute shattering on tile. I saw it on TikTok, my sister says, syrupy sweet. The reviews were incredible. 5 stars from women who've basically given up on real dating. I keep my gaze locked on that awful pink app card, on the pathetic cartoon of a drooping flower meant to symbolize women like me. Women who are apparently past their expiration date. Take it, darling. My mother's voice slices through the space. Trinity Montgomery sits rigidly on the ivory settee, posture so cold and perfect she could blend in with the marble around us. Bella is simply concerned about your future. Don't let pride trap you into becoming a lifelong spinster. My father stays silent. Richard Montgomery lingers near the bar cart, slowly swirling bourbon in a crystal glass, studying the amber liquid as though it might save him from engaging with me. His business partner, Harrison Sterling, shifts awkwardly in the leather armchair beside him. Preston Sterling, Bella's fiancé, suddenly finds his phone extremely fascinating. I close the box, deliberately. My hands stay steady, even as something deep in my chest fractures. 8 months? It's been 8 months since I mailed those invitations. Spent 3 nights at my dining table in Austin, choosing the perfect cardstock and tying velvet ribbons by hand. 300-gram weight, the kind that whispers luxury between your fingers. Nate had leaned on the doorway then, arms folded, expression cautious. Are you sure you don't want to call them? He'd asked. I tied another ribbon, smoothing the silk into a flawless bow. They're my parents. They wouldn't miss this. The memory wedges in my throat like a stone. I had delayed the ceremony by 30 minutes, staring at those 2 empty chairs in the front row, one for my dad, one for my mom. The wooden plaques I'd hand-painted, decorated with wildflowers because my mother had once mentioned she liked daisies 7 years ago. But I remembered. I remembered everything they chose to forget. Well, Bella leans forward on the sofa, blonde curls spilling over one shoulder in a perfectly staged cascade. Her engagement ring flashes in the firelight, a 3-carat stone worth more than my entire wedding. Aren't you going to say thank you? The words jam in my throat. Part of me wants to yell. Another part wants to bolt through those massive oak doors like I have so many times before, head straight to the airport, fly back to Austin where Nate is probably reheating leftover Thai and wondering if I'm alive. But I'm exhausted. So tired of running. Harrison Sterling clears his throat. Perhaps we should move on to dinner, he suggests, voice carefully even. I believe the caterers have everything prepared. Bella's smirk widens. She thinks she's won again. She always thinks that. Except this time, nothing inside me shatters. It snaps, not my heart that's been splintering in this house since I first learned some children are adored and others are merely endured. No, what breaks is harder, older. The chains I've dragged for 29 years. The ones labeled good daughter, second choice. Try harder and maybe they'll love you. I lift my gaze and meet Bella's. Her triumphant smirk falters. Just barely. Because she sees something new in me, something sharp, cold, decisive. Thank you, Bella, I say. My voice is smooth, almost pleasant. I'll take very good care of this. I slide the box under my arm like evidence. Because that's exactly what it is. Trinity frowns. Carolyn, don't be dramatic. It's just a thoughtful gift. Oh, I know. I smile. It feels foreign, like borrowed lips stretched across my own. Extremely thoughtful. Extremely valuable. Richard finally glances up, his gray brows pinching. Carolyn? A warning. The same tone he used when I was 16 and dared to question why. Bella got a brand new BMW while I was handed a decade-old Honda. The tone that means don't embarrass us. Don't make noise, don't exist too brightly in spaces built for your sister. I stare back. Yes, Dad? He opens his mouth, thinks better of it, and turns back to his bourbon. Preston Sterling stands up abruptly, stuffing his phone into his jacket. I need some air, he mutters, striding toward the terrace. Bella's smile cracks. Preston, it's freezing. He pauses at the doors, icy wind spilling in, then exhales and rejoins us body present, mind gone. And in that moment, I understand. He's uncomfortable? Good. Any decent person would be, shall we? Harrison gestures stiffly toward the dining room, shoulders tight with discomfort. The chandelier casts the diamond shards across the white linen tablecloth. Trinity taps her spoon against her crystal water glass, the sharp ring slicing through small talk. Before we begin, she announces, voice pitched theatrically, I'd like to toast this very special season, the year of the bride. I watch Bella straighten, her polished smile unfurling like she's practiced it in a mirror for years. My youngest daughter, Trinity continues, raising her glass toward Bella. She'd be married this February in what can only be described as a modern royal affair. 300 guests. The Four Seasons ballroom. A gown that required 6 months to design. Preston's jaw ticks. Harrison examines his salad fork with intense academic focus. Bella has always done things properly, Trinity says, and properly hits my skin like a slap. With grace. With respect for family. My father lifts his glass without looking at me once. I cut into my fillet. The knife glides through, but my hand feels fused to the handle. Trinity sets down her wine with a soft click. Her stare locks onto me. I know that glint. She's winding up for a performance. Bella is settled, she says, dripping false concern. But what about you, Caroline? You're almost 30. Surely you don't plan to live with houseplants forever? Silence slams into the room. Even the catering staff freezes mid-pour. When is it your turn? Trinity asks. The words hang in the air like smoke. Preston flicks his eyes toward me, then away. Harrison clears his throat, uselessly. Bella leans in, her expression molded into faux concern, but I know her too well. She's waiting for me to crumble, to mumble excuses about career focus or bad luck. She's waiting for her favorite show, my humiliation. I set down my silverware. The clink echoes. I'm not single, Mother. My tone is flat, steady, almost bored. Trinity blinks. Excuse me? I've been married for 8 months. Her face cycles through 3 expressions in 2 seconds. Confusion, disbelief, fury. Liar. Her hand slams the table, rattling silverware. Why would no one know? You eloped in Vegas, didn't you? Is that why you've been so distant? I didn't elope in Vegas. Bella's blood drains from her face before she rebuilds her mask. Are you inventing stories to ruin my engagement party? She asks, voice trembling in that perfectly controlled, victim-coded way. You've always envied me, Carolyn, but this is pathetic. She grabs Preston's arm. Can you believe her? But Preston is staring at me, his attorney instincts clicking into place. I sent invitations, I say, my tone unchanged. FedEx overnight. In February. My father slams his glass down, bourbon spilling. If you sent invitations and got no response, why didn't you call? His face is blotchy with anger. You did this on purpose to humiliate us in front of the Sterlings? And there it is. The truth I've been avoiding. They didn't forget. They're rewriting reality, gaslighting me openly. In front of witnesses, the last fragile thread of hope snaps. The architect in me takes over, the part that understands structure, pressure, and exactly how to make a failing framework collapse. I stop trying to defend myself with feelings. They've never cared about those dots hidden beneath the tablecloth. I slide my phone from my clutch. My thumb opens my thread with Nate. I type one word. Now, delivered, read. I tuck the phone away and spear a piece of asparagus like nothing happened. Carolyn. My mother's voice is a blade. Stop this nonsense and apologize to your sister. For what? I take a slow bite. For being married. For inviting my family to my wedding. What part requires an apology? Bella's eyes glisten with unshed tears, her specialty. I can't believe you lie about something like this. On Christmas Eve, I'm not lying. Then prove it. My father snaps. I meet his stare. Okay. Harrison shifts, bracing for impact. Preston sits rigidly, catching up to whatever his instincts have already screamed at him. The chandelier light glints off my wedding band. I've worn it all night. No one noticed. Dessert will be out in 15 minutes. A caterer calls from the doorway. Blissfully unaware of the emotional Chernobyl happening at the table, my phone buzzes against my leg. Nate, system accessed. Ready when you are. Anytime tonight. I glance at the 85-inch smart TV above the fireplace in the sitting room, currently playing a digital fire log that mirrors the real flames. Actually, I say, rising from my chair, I think we should skip dessert tonight. I walk toward the TV. Heels striking the hardwood in steady, sharp clicks. There's something everyone needs to see. Carolyn, sit down. My mother's voice sharpens into that familiar blade, the one that used to carve me down into something smaller. Quieter, easier to ignore, not tonight. I stop in front of the TV. My back to the table. You always take Bella's word as gospel. My own voice surprises me steady, almost casual. But did you forget what my husband does for a living? Silence drops like a curtain. I turn, facing them. Nathaniel Vance, senior cybersecurity analyst. He works for a firm that defends Fortune 500 companies from international data breaches. Trinity's mouth falls open, closes, opens again. I don't see how that's relevant, don't you? I slip my phone from my clutch and hold it up. 3 glowing letters sit on the screen. Now, sent 18 minutes earlier, delivered behind me, the TV flickers. Bella's head jerks up, her tears instantly forgotten. What are you doing? The virtual fireplace cuts out. The screen goes dark for 2 beats, then it flashes back to life, not with flames. With a computer desktop. Blue background. Perfectly organized folders. Remote access activated appears in the corner in small white text. What is this? Richard's voice goes cold. Turn that off. I designed the electrical system in this house. I say, lightly conversational, like we're discussing the weather. Remember? You hired me straight out of grad school. Paid me in exposure and family discount rates. I installed every smart device, every camera, every sensor. The cursor moves across the screen by itself. Nate, 2,000 miles away in our Austin home office, is already navigating. The admin password was never changed. I continue. I advised you to update it. Twice I emailed you. Harrison leans forward, caught between morbid curiosity and dread. Preston sits utterly still beside Bella. His lawyer instincts turning over the implications like puzzle pieces. This is illegal, Bella whispers, her voice cracking, this time with fear. Not theatrics? Actually, no. I don't look at her. I'm the system administrator of record. Full legal access. Nate is simply assisting me in retrieving my own files. Trinity shoots to her feet, chair scraping violently against the floor. Files? What files? The cursor glides to a folder. A label flashes into view.project_truth.bella inhales sharply. When you dismiss my work as playing with plants, I say calmly, you forgot I'm an architect. Architect's plan. We think ahead. We build things meant to hold. My father's face is turning crimson. You had no right to install cameras without telling us. I did tell you. My voice stays even. I gave you a 40-page manual. You signed off on everything. There's footage from the front door, the side entrance, the driveway. All disclosed. All legal. All recorded to the NVR system in your wine cellar. What's an NVR? Trinity asks, her voice suddenly small. Network video recorder. I finally meet her eyes. Not cloud storage that wipes after 6 months. Physical drives. Professional grade. 2 years of retention. Color drains from Bella's face. She's counting, backwards, through months of decisions she hoped would disappear. You're bluffing, she whispers. I turn toward the screen. The cursor pauses over the folder. Do you remember February 12th, Bella? My voice is soft, almost kind. It was a Tuesday, cold. You wore your cream cashmere coat. Stop, Bella snaps, voice pitching high. Mom, make her stop. The FedEx driver arrived at 10:15 a.m. I continue. The box was blue. Express overnight. Inside were 4 velvet boxes wrapped in ivory ribbon. Preston's head swivels toward Bella slow, cautious, dawning. Like he's meeting her for the first time. Turn it off. Bella screams. Mom, make her turn it off. But Trinity is frozen. Hand at her throat. Eyes glued to the glowing screen. It doesn't matter anymore. I tap the enter key on my phone. Nate, receiving the signal instantly, opens the folder. The first image fills the TV in crisp, undeniable clarity. A FedEx receipt. The signature line bold and unmistakable dot Isabella Montgomery. Her elegant looping handwriting. Dated February 12th. Time 10:15 a.m. The dining room erupts into chaos. Asterisk. Then why I say each word clean and precise. Did you throw the invitations in the recycling bin instead of hiding them in a drawer? Bella's confidence flickers just for a second. But I catch it. Everyone catches it. What? She whispers, as if the question is absurd. As if the answer isn't already burning a hole through her perfect little alibi. If you were protecting Mom and Dad, I continue, you would have saved the invitations. You would have kept them safe. You would have placed them somewhere you could return to later, when the danger passed and the humiliation didn't happen. I tilt my head, but you didn't do that. Did you? Preston turns, slowly, like he's afraid of what he already knows he's about to see. Bella? He says, voice low. Did you? I was upset, Bella blurts. I wasn't thinking clearly. That's interesting, I murmur. Because the video footage suggests you were thinking very clearly. Nate clicks play. The room becomes a silent theater. Bella on the porch. Ponytail swinging. Smile bright. Then the FedEx box. Then her expression turning sharp, cold, ugly. Then her walk to the recycling bins. Then the throw. Hard. Thoughtless. Final. The video ends. The room doesn't breathe. Preston's face empties. Not angry, not yet. Just blank. Like a man watching the foundation beneath him crack. There's your truth, I think. There's your love. Asterisk, then why? I say, enunciating every word. Did you throw the invitations in the recycling bin instead of tucking them into a drawer? Bella blinks. What? If you were protecting Mom and Dad, if you were truly worried about their feelings, you would have kept the invitations somewhere safe. Somewhere you could pull them out later if things changed. You would have preserved them, just in case your plan unraveled. I gesture toward the screen where Nate already has the next file waiting. But you didn't do that, did you? Preston turns to Bella, really looks at her. Did you? I was upset, Bella snaps. I wasn't thinking straight. That's interesting, they say, because the video suggests you were thinking very clearly. I nod at the screen. Nate presses play. The footage is crystal sharp. The front door camera, mounted high above the entrance, catching everything from porch to driveway. The timestamp reads February 12th, 10:14 a.m. The FedEx truck pulls in. The driver steps out carrying a blue box. He rings the doorbell. Bella shows up half a minute later, wearing yoga pants and a cropped hoodie, her hair yanked into a high ponytail. She smiles, signs the tablet, takes the package. The driver leaves. Bella looks down at the box. I watch her read the return address. Carolyn and Nate Vance. Her expression shifts. The smile vanishes. Something sharp and icy takes its place. She doesn't look afraid. She doesn't look protective. She looks enraged. Bella glances around, checking for witnesses. Then she walks toward the recycling bins tucked behind the decorative lattice. No hesitation, no pause, no curiosity. She doesn't even open the box. She just hurls it into the bin like trash. The velvet invitation boxes I tied by hand probably crushed on impact. The cardstock I lettered myself likely bent and warped. She doesn't look back, just wipes her hands on her leggings and walks inside. The video ends. Silence swallows the dining room. Even the flames on the hearth seem to go still. Preston's face has gone blank. Deliberately blank. The look of a man watching the future he planned crumble. There's your protection, I say quietly. There's your love. The room holds its breath. I watch Preston's expression, cycle too fast to track. Confusion, recognition, disgust. He stands so abruptly his chair screeches across the hardwood, the sound sharp enough to make my mother jump. You threw your sister's wedding invitations in the trash? His voice is soft, which makes it sting more. Because you couldn't stand sharing the spotlight? Bella reaches for him, Preston. I can explain. He jerks away before she touches him. You gave her a book about dying alone when you knew she was married. He's staring at Bella like he's never seen her before. Maybe he hasn't. I cannot marry a monster. The word detonates in the air. Monster. Bella's face collapses. You don't understand, she's always, but Preston is already moving. He yanks the engagement ring off her finger so hard the metal should have bent. The 3-carat diamond catches the chandelier light once before he sets it on the table with a crisp, decisive click that echoes like a gunshot. We're done, he says. My mother lurches up. Preston, don't be dramatic. Bella made a mistake, but surely a mistake. Preston's laugh is razor sharp. Mrs. Montgomery, your daughter committed mail tampering. She sabotaged her sister's wedding. She lied to me for 8 months. He shakes his head slowly. I thought I was marrying into a family with integrity. Clearly, I misjudged. Harrison Sterling rises beside his son, his expression carved from stone. He turns to my father, who hasn't moved, whose face has drained to the color of old parchment. Richard, Harrison's voice carries 40 years of authority. A man who can't manage his household has no business managing a company. My father's bourbon glass stalls midair. Your daughter is deceitful, Harrison says, gesturing at Bella. Your wife enables her. He glances at my mother, whose mouth opens uselessly. And you are irresponsible. His gaze returns to my father. The merger next month? Consider it canceled. Sterling Group will not partner with the Montgomery family. The words strike like physical blows. My father's face drains even further. That merger was supposed to be his crown jewel, the deal that would cement his career. $50 million in contracts. A partnership that would have doubled his company's reach. Gone. Harrison, please. My father finally speaks. We can discuss this in private. Surely there's nothing to discuss. Harrison places a steady hand on Preston's shoulder. We're leaving. Bella explodes to her feet. This is your fault. She rounds on me, face twisted with fury. You ruined everything. I'll destroy you. I'll tell everyone what you did, how you manipulated. No, the word is soft, but it slices through her rant. I stand, smoothing my dress. You won't watch me. Bella shrieks. I have 2 million followers. I know Massachusetts law prohibits secret audio recordings, I say calmly. So tonight's video stays private. I won't publish it. Bella's expression flickers, thinking she's found a way out. However, I pause, letting the silence sharpen. The CCTV footage of you dumping that FedEx package? That's evidence of federal mail tampering. Title 18, U.S. Code, Section 1708, up to 5 years in federal prison. Bella's face strains to chalk. If you say one lie about me online, that video goes straight to the police. And to your sponsors. I study her for a beat. I wonder how Dior and Cartier will feel about their ambassador being investigated for felony crimes. Bella collapses back into her chair. The sound she makes isn't a sob or a scream. It's the sound of someone's world collapsing inward. My mother sits frozen, fingers twisted together. My father stares at the table as if the wood grain might explain any of this. I reach for the cream-colored gift box, the awful app membership, the cruel book still sitting where I left it. I lift it, walk around the table. Bella flinches as I approach, as if I might strike her. I set the box in front of her, right beside the abandoned engagement ring. Keep it, I say. You need it more than I do. The words taste like freedom. I turn toward the foyer where Harrison and Preston are already waiting, shrugging into their coats as if the night is finally closing on all of us. As I walk past Harrison, he gives me a single deliberate nod. Respect, maybe? Or approval. Doesn't matter. Behind me, my mother's voice reaches me, thin, trembling, almost frantic. Carolyn, wait. We can fix this. We can, but I'm already moving. Through the foyer, past the marble staircase where Bella and I once posed for Christmas morning photos. Through the towering oak doors that swing shut behind me with a heavy, absolute thud. The December air hits my face like a slap of cold water, clean, sharp, real. My Uber idles at the bottom of the circular drive, exhaust drifting upward in white clouds that dissolve into the freezing night. I slide into the back seat, and the driver meets my eyes in the rearview mirror. Logan Airport, I confirm. As we pull away, I give myself one last look at the Montgomery estate. Every window floods the night with warm light, but from here the house looks hollow. A beautiful shell with nothing live inside. I take out my phone and start a video call to Nate. His face fills the screen, and the tight knot in my chest finally loosens. His hair is mussed like he's been dragging his hands through it. His eyes search mine. Is it done? He asks. It's done. Your mom's heating up soup for you? His smile is gentle, warm, everything that house never was. Let's go home. Home, not the place I was born, but the place where I'm known, where I'm wanted. Yeah, I say, and my voice only trembles a little. Let's go home. 3 days later, I'm unloading groceries in our Austin kitchen when a FedEx truck rolls to a stop outside. Through the window, I watch the driver jog to the porch, scan a package, and jog back to the truck again. The box sits on the welcome mat square, flat. I know exactly what it is before I even touch it. I can practically smell my father's desperation through the cardboard. Inside, check. $50,000. The number feels obscene, printed in my father's meticulous architect handwriting. The note is short, typed on his business letterhead like this is a simple invoice. I'm sorry. Please stay silent about the contract. I stand there in my kitchen holding $50,000, and I think about the girl who would have cashed it, the girl who showed up every Christmas Eve still hoping, the girl who saved her family seats at her wedding. She's gone. I rip the check in half, then again, until it's nothing but shredded paper. My phone is already in my hand. I spread the pieces across the granite counter, snap a photo, open the family group chat. 3 people. Mom, Dad, Bella. I type. I don't sell my silence. I'm giving it to you for free as my last gift. Do not contact me again. My thumb hovers for 3 seconds. Then I send it. Delivered. Read. Someone starts typing. Stops. Starts again. I don't wait. I scroll to the top of the chat, tap the settings icon, and find the words I've been searching for. Leave group. Are you sure? I've never been more sure. Leave. New Year's Eve arrives wrapped in Seattle rain and the smell of Meredith's legendary pot roast. Nate's family fills the living room laughing, arguing over what movie to put on before midnight. His sister steals the remote. His nephew spills grape juice on the carpet. His mom hugs me tight, and the weight of the sapphire brooch pinned to her coat presses warmly against my shoulder. Solid, real, an heirloom passed with love, not obligation. Come on, Nate says, taking my hand. Let's get some air before the fireworks. We step onto the back porch. The Space Needle glows in the distance, and the whole city hums with celebration. Nate wraps his arm around my waist, and I lean into him, inhaling rain, cedar, and freedom. Any regrets? He asks softly. I think about the empty chairs, the missing invitations, the cruel gift, the check ripped to confetti. Not one. The first firework bursts overhead, gold sparks against black sky. Nate's family cheers from inside, clinking glasses, pulling each other into hugs. I'm not the Montgomery daughter anymore. I'm Caroline Vance, architect of landscapes, and finally, architect of my own life. I cleared the weeds. I burned out the rot. And in the garden I chose for myself, something real is finally growing.